Simplest explanation. Chris Finch and his staff worked JJ Redick and his staff, and Minnesota's best players outplayed the Lakers' best players. I mean, Austin Reeves, a no-show. LeBron last couple of games looked tired, and Luka's worst qualities were exposed. There was a late sequence in this game with about 2:45 left. It was a late sequence where Julius Randle blew by Luka and scored. Okay, so he blows by Luka. It's right here, just blows by him and scores. On the other end, Luka misses a layup and then complains about it to the referee. And while he's complaining, the T-Wolves in transition, Ant scores on the other end. From a 2-point game to ball game. Luka Daisical. And by the way, I'm not saying the Mavs won the trade with the Lakers, but Nico Collison slept very well last night. Nico Harrison slept very, very well last night. Listen, LeBron, in the fourth quarter, the last two games, you saw it. He was tired. He was gassed. 2 for 9 from the floor. And the Lakers, in this series in the fourth quarter, they got worked. And that was about a tired LeBron and a coaching staff in Minnesota that pulled all the right levers. The Lakers in the fourth quarter scored 17, 13, 20, 19, 16. And JJ Redick's insistence got very stubborn. His insistence to play only 5 guys the entire second half of Game 4, which is bizarrely, it's historically bizarre. That's the only thing I can say. I'm not a coach. It's just historically, I've never seen it. I've never thought it would be discussed. This is a small ball team that was already outsized the entire series and out-rebounded the entire series. So you're the smaller, less physical team, and you're going to play your guys the entire second half, and one of them is in his 40s. Okay. And JJ Redick, before the game, got very defensive about this.
Is there an assistant or someone maybe that you'll lean on tonight, maybe to try to get, some other guys involved if that opportunity presents itself?
Are you saying that because I'm inexperienced and that was an inexperienced decision that I made? Do you think I don't talk to my assistants about substitutions every single timeout?
No, I just think there's a lot of coaches lean on their assistants in those situations.
As do I, every
on.
single time. That's a weird assumption.
Bro, it's not the moment to be the coolest, smartest guy in the room. You went heavy small ball. With the oldest star in the league, you didn't sub him. And LeBron looked tired in Game 4 in the end, and he looked tired last night. Plus, Minnesota, which was already a bigger team, leaned into their size. Rudy Gobert, a defensive player, might as well have been Wilt Chamberlain last night. He was unstoppable. That's on coaching. And by the way, JJ, what is Maxi Kleber doing on the floor late? This was a coaching mismatch. Julius Randle, Ant, McDaniels, Gobert. They outplayed the Lakers players, and the T-Wolves own the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is not just the stars quarter. It's the coaching quarter. This is not a complicated breakdown. Better coach, better decisions, a more complete roster, and better fourth quarters. LeBron wasn't terrible in the fourth. He was clearly exhausted. Probably not going to play him an entire second half when you're already the smaller team. And by the way, Chris Finch and his guys, his staff, they were already bigger. They made an adjustment to make Rudy Gobert the centerpiece last night. And you're playing late Maxi Kleber. What are we doing here? So in the playoffs, let's be honest about it. They're truth serum. Austin Reeves, y'all love him. But in the playoffs, when it's the same teams playing the same guys night after night after night. Austin Reeves moves into town. You're tired. You played last night. He drops 22. Wow. He's undrafted. And Minnesota exposed him. They sent their drafted better athletes at Austin Reeves, and he didn't do anything. The playoffs are truth serum. And the truth is, This Laker roster is incomplete. JJ Redick made a bad decision in game 4 and got defensive about it. And the fourth quarters, T-Wolves players were better than the Lakers stars. It's not a shot at LeBron or even Luka. Although, can we now all be honest about Luka's conditioning and defense? They're going after him regularly. Here was Charles Barkley on JJ Redick's pushback, anger, and rigidity.
He just is a little sensitive now. Because, listen, one of the things that people say they never watch television, we all lie. All jocks watch television. And he's been getting criticized the last 48 hours for playing those guys. And he's just sensitive. Just say, hey, you know what? If I had it, everybody's afraid to say I was wrong. All he had to do is say, hey, you know what? I shouldn't have played those guys the whole second half. And that's it. Then it would have been over.
We always consider in America football to be the coach's sport. But you get into the playoffs, and I watched this series, and I'm not just saying this because I don't know JJ Redick. I know Chris Finch a little, but there was one coaching staff pulling all the right levers on this. And Minnesota, I mean, it was so obvious last night. Remember we talked about this yesterday. They were a 6.5-point underdog. I'm like, are the Laker players getting taller? Is LeBron getting younger? Like, they were bigger, and they leaned into Rudy Gobert. So they clearly, as a staff, said, guys, we got an edge here. Size doesn't get smaller. Fast guys can get slower over a series, but size doesn't get smaller, and they just went all in on Gobert, and he was unstoppable. Rudy Gobert, his entire career, has been stoppable. Completely stoppable. Last night he was unstoppable. I mean, Maxi Kleber playing guys in the entire second half. I'm sorry. Coaching better, players better, levers pulled, better roster. Just to tell you, and I think it's fair to say, I'm not somebody that bangs on NBA coaches a lot, but Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert last night are outplaying LeBron and Luka. That's coaching. Like, right? That is coaching. Part of that is playing Luka and LeBron in game 4 the entire second half. I know they have a couple of days off, but they also had to fly cross country. Or, Minneapolis to LA, 3.5 hours. You get in late. You got to shoot around the day of the game. Like LeBron needs time off. That's why LeBron was more effective early in this series and in first halves than late. So it's just a coaching decision I don't agree with. But the fact that Julius Randle, who had never been a great playoff guy, had a tremendous series. That's Chris Finch and the staff. And it was game 1. It was like, guys, they don't match up with him. And then Rudy Gobert looking like Wilt Chamberlain last night. That's the best playoff game he's ever played. Why? That's matchups. That's matchups. So, I mean, and we don't talk a lot of coaching. We talk about MJ this, MJ that. Michael Jordan was in Chicago and was really good, but he wasn't winning big titles in fourth quarters until Phil Jackson showed up. Coaching matters in this sport. So, listen, I've been a LeBron defender. 99% of the stuff. A little bit of the too much brawny kind of manufacturing stuff there I don't love, but it's his son. I get it. But this is where LeBron's critics, they've always said, oh, he plays the victim, he extends drama. And whatever. He's a superstar in America. It happens. But he was asked last night if he's coming back. We all know the answer to this. Here was his thoughts.
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Something I sit down with my family, my wife, and my support group and kind of just talk through it and see what happens. And then just have a conversation with myself on how long I want to continue to play. It's a business, too, so you don't know what the roster will look like next year besides the guys that's locked into contracts. So we don't. I got a lot to think about myself, so I don't know what the roster will look like. I don't know what I'm, where I stand right now.
I do, as one of the 10 best players, you're coming back. This is what he said last year after they lost to Denver. There's been a lot of comps to Tom Brady for LeBron, and they make sense. Totally committed, winning late in their career, bizarrely good for their age. But this is where he's got a little Brett Favre, kind of seeking, assurance, drama, please come back. Stop. LeBron against the Timberwolves struggled in fourth quarters. He should for his age. But he did average 25 and 9. That was second on the team and first on the team. By the way, his last 15 playoff games, he's averaged 27, 8, and 8, shooting 54%. He's a top 10 player in the game. He looked tired in this series. Yeah, game 4, second half, had a lot to do with the last 2 fourth quarters. Sorry, that's on JJ Redick. I don't care if you ask LeBron, hey, man, can you play the entire second half? You don't play LeBron the entire second half. What you saw at the end of game 4 and the end of game 5 is LeBron basically losing his legs, doing a great job defensively, but he didn't have his jumper and he didn't have quite the burst, which is totally explainable. So, LeBron, you're coming back. Just ask yourself this. If LeBron announced his retirement in a week, would it not be shocking? Of course it would. If LeBron announced in a week he's coming back, would you be shocked? No. And that's why we don't need the drama. We all know the answer here. He's got another son. He enjoys. I mean, listen, Luka was disappointing, but you're going to tell me he's not going to come back for Luka, who will probably be in, if not great shape, better shape? LeBron's coming back.